Welcome everyone. Today's Vinyasa sequence is going to be quite quick-paced. We are going to be working with triangle pose and variations of triangle pose. For class today, if you have a block handy, you can certainly use it. There will be a place within the sequence where you're welcome to use it. But it's not necessary. So grab, as always, any props that would support your experience. And with that, I believe we will jump right in. We'll make our way into a child's pose, any variation you choose. You can bring the knees wide enough so that the torso can fall really heavy between the inner thighs. You could bring your knees to touch, arms relaxed by the sides. Really honor what feels most intuitive and gentle in your body, in your system at this moment. And then once that you've arrived in a shape, begin to really focus on the breath. With every conscious breath cycle we take, we use that breath as a means to tap into the feeling body, to create a little bit of space between the self and the thinking mind. If your arms are extended long out in front of you, you're welcome to stay as you are. Or you can bring your palms to touch, bend the arms at the elbows. You might even choose to walk your elbows forward from there. And then begin to melt the forehead down to the ground once again. And you can begin to point your fingertips upwards towards the ceiling, or perhaps bringing them more towards the nape of the neck. This variation of child's pose allows us to work a little bit more into the triceps, into the upper spine. Take a few rounds of breath there. And then gently extend the arms long. Take a moment and pause to integrate. Feel free to keep the eyes closed. Moving from the inside out, you'll make your way to a tabletop position, shifting your shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees, and then curl the toes under behind you. So we're going to do some spinal waves, moving from moving from tabletop to child's pose. It'll look like this. With your inhales, you can lower your belly down towards the ground, lift the tail, and then begin to shift your hips back towards your heels. With our inhales, then we'll slowly ripple forward. You can start at the lowest portion of the spine, eventually shifting until your shoulders are above the wrists. As you exhale, excuse my earlier confusion, this will be the exhales. You'll tilt the tail and shift the hips back in the opposite direction. So you can join this movement pattern with me when you're ready. No, there's really not an exact science to it. Just begin to move with your breath. Next time you make your way through tabletop, you can pause there. And then bring the wrist creases towards one another, the eyes of the elbows towards one another. Press through your palms, puff up the space between the shoulder blades, and begin to sway the shoulders from side to side in line with the wrists. Just looking for those little areas of discomfort and meeting those moments with curiosity. Eventually finding stillness. Last movement for the wrists. Specifically, bring your fingertips towards your knees. So now the wrist creases shine forward. And you can begin to shift your hips back in space any amount. Again, looking for those little areas of discomfort, bringing our awareness to those often ignored portions of the body. Shifting your fingertips back when ready. Keep your left hand as is. Inhale, reach your right arm upwards towards the ceiling, finding an easy twist. Try to get as broad as you could from the left hand to the right. Taking a big inhale here, find length. And as you exhale, we're going to give ourselves a big hug. So it looks like threading your right arm through the left wrist. And then bring your right fingertips up towards the left shoulder. So you feel this twist in the upper portion of the spine. And we keep moving between those two shapes. Inhale, reach your right arm high. Exhale, rotate the upper spine, give yourself a hug. Last time, big inhale. And a full exhale. We'll lower all the way down. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, lower the right ear, the right cheek down to the ground. Relax. You can choose to keep your left hand as is, or you could bring your left hand to the right, or maybe even bring your left hand to the low back. Wherever you are, stay with an even rhythm of breath in and out the nose. Excuse the plane overhead, such as life. Return your left hand down to the ground. Inhale, reach your right arm high. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Now really press into that connection. Inhale, reach the left arm upwards. Find an easy twist. With every inhale you take, notice the length you create from the tailbone to the center of the heart. And as you exhale, rotate your right ribs underneath the left. Take in a big inhale, lengthen through the side body. Exhale, left hand towards the right shoulder, give yourself a hug. Inhale, reach the left arm high. Exhale, give it a hug. Last time, full inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, reach the left arm high. Exhale to lower all the way down onto the left ear, the left cheek, the left shoulder. And as before, you can keep your right hand as is. You could bring your right hand towards the left, or you might even choose to bring your right hand to the low back. Wherever you are, anchor your hips back in space. Breathe into the length of the spine. Return the right hand down to the ground. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, left hand down to the ground. Walk the palms one hand distance forward. Curl your toes behind you and glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Once there, feel free to pedal through the heels. You could sway the hips from side to side. If there wasn't a right or wrong, because there's not, how would you move? Eventually finding stillness, press the palms down and forward. Tailbone lifted high, navel up and in. Taking a big inhale. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Slowly walk your feet forward to the top of the space. Ragdoll pose. Allow the upper body to be completely heavy. Arm variation of your choice. You could grab for opposite elbows. You could interlace the fingers to the nape of the neck, or maybe even bring the hands to the low back. Slowly soften your fingertips down to the ground. Keep that soft bend in the legs. Allow the head to be heavy. And then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, begin to lift the torso, rise all the way up to a standing position. Once you're at the top of that motion, you can glide the shoulders back and down the spine. You can rotate the spine, wiggle out any tension. Eventually finding stillness. Soft and steady point of focus with the eyes. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift the chest, halfway lift. Hands to the floor, step your feet back to a plank. And we'll pause on this first round of plank. Spread your 10 fingers wide. Knees could be on the ground, knees could be lifted. If knees are lifted, press the ground actively away from you. You puff up the space between the shoulders. Hug the navel up and in, tailbone towards the heels. Notice the internal dialogue when intensity rises. Take in one more full inhale. Exhale, elbows hug the ribs. Slowly lower down to the belly with control. Tops of the feet down to the ground, palms right by the low ribs, elbows hug inwards towards the side bodies. We'll move through 3 rounds of rolling cobra. You can dictate the pace, you can dictate the depth. Next inhalation, lift the chest, cobra pose. Exhale, heart to the earth. Twice more, just like that. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower it down. Last time, inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Curl your toes behind you, engage the legs, so much so the kneecaps lift off of the ground. On an exhale, rise up through plank, child's pose, or tabletop. And glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Today's sequence, like I said, it'll be quite quick in pace. Very simple at first. We'll repeat again, breath to movement. And then on our third time, we'll add a little bit to the flow. Next inhalation, right leg rises, 3-legged dog. Feel free to open up the hips. You can stack your right hip above the left. You could circle through the ankle. You could circle through the knee. Move in any way that would feel good. Eventually, you'll square the hips. Wrap your outer right thigh downwards towards the ground. Lift through the right heel. Take in a big inhale into the length of the side bodies. Exhale, step the right foot to the inside of the right hand as you press the ground away from you. Right knee right above the right ankle. Right hip crease is steering back, left hip crease steering forward. Keep your left hand as is. Inhale, reach your right arm upwards towards the ceiling. Find an easy twist. Like in tabletop, think about the length you create from the left hand to the right. Big movement, we move to Skandinasana. Take in a big inhale, find length through the right fingertips. Exhale, Skandinasana. You'll turn over your left shoulder. Sink into the hips, lunge into the left leg, so the right leg eventually straightens-ish. Right toes point straight up towards the ceiling. Sink into the hips. Feel what you feel in the ankles, in the hips, in the knees. Stay with the breath. Follow an exhale all the way out. Big movement. Inhale, open up, 5-pointed star. You can use your hands or not to help make that happen. Energize all the way through to the tips of the fingers. We make ourselves big. We take up space. Take in a big inhale. Exhale, warrior two to the top of the mat. Bend your right knee right above the right ankle. Track the right knee towards the right pinky toe. Ground through the outer edge of the left foot. Once again, we're broad through the heart space, getting as long as we could from the left hand to the right. Flip your right palm upwards. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Reach the right arm high up and back. So there's little to no weight in the left hand. The core is very stable. Draw the navel up and in, thinking most about the length that you're creating from the right hip to the right fingertips. Take in one more full inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way down to the ground. Inhale, step the right foot back to a plank. Exhale, elbows hug the ribs, knees down or not. Slowly lower down to the belly with control. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra pose or upward facing dog. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Come back to that even rhythm of breath in and out the nose. Onto the left side. Inhale, reach the left arm high, reach the left leg high, three-legged dog. You can open up the hips, stack the left hip above the right. Take any intuitive movements that would feel good and beneficial. Eventually finding stillness in three-legged dog, press the ground away from you, left heel rises. Full inhale. Exhale, step the left foot to the inside of the left hand, low lunge. Anchor your left hip back, right hip crease steers forward. Keep your right glute engaged, right leg stays strong and active. From your right hand, inhale, reach your left arm upwards, easy twist. Good. Keep pressing into the right palm so you create space between the shoulder and the ear. Gliding that left shoulder back and down the spine. Take in one more full inhale. Exhale, Skandinasana. Bring your left hand to the inside of the left foot. And then you'll turn all the way over the right shoulder, lunging into the right knee. So the left leg is straight-ish. Stay with the breath, a few full rounds of breath to feel what you feel. Inhale, rise up, 5-pointed star. You can use your hands or not for that big movement. Feet down to the ground, really firmly planted. From that foundation, lift through the heart. Energize all the way to the tips of the fingers. Arms are reaching upwards. One more full inhale. Exhale to warrior two. Pivot your left toes forward. Left knee right above the left ankle. Arms open wide. One strong line of energy from fingertip to fingertip. Flip your left palm upwards. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Find length in the left side body. Stabilize through the core. Lift through the heart. One more full inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way down to the ground. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, lower down, your option. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Find your breath. We'll flow through that sequence, one breath to one movement. However, your breath is the guide. So you can move slower than me, you can move quicker than me, you can adjust the movement patterns in any way that serves your breath. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, right leg rises, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot forward, low lunge. Inhale, right arm high, vertical twist. Exhale, Skandinasana, left leg bends. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, two plank. Exhale, lower down, your option. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to downward facing dog. Just a few slow breaths here. Let's sync up the breath. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Low lunge. Inhale, vertical twist, left arm high. Exhale, Skandinasana, right leg bends. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way down to the ground. Inhale, two plank. Exhale, lower down, your option. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to downward facing dog. Whew. All right, as promised, we'll flow through that sequence once again, but this time we're going to add a few extra movements where we'll hold for a few breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Inhale, right arm up, vertical twist. Exhale, Skandinasana, left leg bends. And here we pause. So from here, we'll lower our sit bones all the way down to the earth. And this is a little bit funky, but we'll bring our left thigh so that it is parallel to the front edge of the mat. So that left thigh is at a 90-degree angle. Woo! It's a pretty intense shape, so no, it's optional. See if you can, as best as you can, keep the shoulders above the hips, staying with the breath. And then we'll slowly return the left foot back down to the ground. You can keep the right sit bone on the earth. And first, you might choose to just bring your palm down to the ground with the right hand, left hand behind the head. You can spiral the left side body open. You could also soften onto the forearm. You might even choose to extend your left hand towards your right foot as you slowly spiral the center of the heart open with every exhale you take. With an inhale, we'll slowly begin to bring the spine back up through neutral. We'll shift our body weight back to this left foot to continue our flow, Skandinasana. Follow your next exhale all the way out. Inhale, open up, five-pointed star. Exhale to warrior two. Right knee right above the right ankle. Arms open wide, do a T. Here we pause. Flip your right palm upwards. Inhale, reverse the triangle. Straighten your right leg any amount. Reach your right fingertips high upwards. Taking a big inhale into the side bodies. Exhale, begin to reach towards triangle pose. Extend your right fingertips forward, forward, forward. Left hip crease is back in space. And when you can't reach any farther, you can bring your right hand down to your shin, to the floor, or here's where a block might be handy. Left hand can stay on the hip. Extend your left arm upwards. All right. Follow and exhale all the way out. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Right leg bends, right arm high. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way down to the earth. Inhale to three-legged dog. Exhale to reverse triangle. Bring your right knee towards your left elbow. And then you'll turn onto the knife edge of the left foot as you either choose to stay right here or begin to extend your right foot out to the left. Right palm is your foundation. Lift your left arm upwards as you lift through the hips. Lengthen through the center of the heart. Fall in triangle. Taking one more big inhale. Exhale, left hand down to the ground. This is tricky. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale to half pigeon pose. Bring your right knee forward towards your outer right wrist, and then you can wiggle that right shin forward any amount. Take in a big inhale, lift through the center of the heart. Exhale, leading with the belly button, fold forward any amount. We'll be here for a few cycles of breath. Close the eyes. Noticing everything that's moving within. Last few slow cycles of breath. And slowly we rise all the way back up onto the hands. Engage your left leg behind you, lift it off of the ground. From the strength of the low belly, lift your right leg high up and back. You can choose to open up the hips. If wild thing or flipping the dog is within your practice, you're welcome to create that in your own time, in your own way. We meet in downward facing dog. Unite the breath, same thing on the left. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Inhale, left arm high, vertical twist. Exhale, Skandinasana, right leg bends, and we pause. Sink into the hips. So much so that you can soften your left sit bone all the way down to the ground. And then bring your right thigh to a 90-degree angle at the top of the mat. It's a very strange yoga shape. Incredibly beneficial for internal rotation of the hip joint. Might be incredibly uncomfortable. Send your breath to wherever there is intensity. And then slowly, you can bring your body weight to the left so you can plant your right foot once again. And then you can either, again, bring your left palm down to the ground, right hand behind the head, so you can spiral open the side body. Our focus is from the right hip bone to the rib cage, to the crown of the head. You could soften your left elbow down to the ground. You might even choose to bring your right fingertips towards the pinky edge of your left foot. None of those are more advanced than the other by nature. Instead, it's the shape that's the best pathway to presence that creates advancement in this practice. Inhale, rise up through center. Shift your body weight forward, ground through the sole of the right foot. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, left arm up. Inhale, reverse the triangle. Here we shift, lift the left arm high, find length in the left side body without compromising the right. Take in a big inhale. Exhale, begin to extend your left fingertips forward, right hip crease steers back. And when you can't reach any farther, you can soften your left hand down to something. Extend your right hand upwards. Trying to rotate the right side body open towards the ceiling. Follow and exhale all the way out. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Reach the left arm high, left knee bends. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way down to the floor. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale towards fallen triangle. Left knee towards the right elbow. And then you can turn onto the knife edge of the right foot. You can choose to stay right here, or you can extend your left foot to the right side of the mat. Press through the left palm, lift through the hips, open up through the front body, extending your right arm high. Take in one more big breath in. Exhale, right hand down to the ground. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, half pigeon pose. Bring your left knee forward towards your outer left wrist crease, and you can wiggle that left shin forward any amount. Take in a big inhale, lift through the center of the heart. And as you exhale, leading with the belly button, fold forward. Last moments here. Follow and exhale all the way out. And then slowly lift the torso, rise all the way up, back up onto the hands. Plant the hands, engage your right leg, lift it off of the ground. Press the ground away from you. From the strength of the low belly, lift your left leg high up and back. And if it feels right, you can open up to wild thing. And only when ready, you can make your way back to your final downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, walk, step or hop, your feet all the way forward. Coming onto our backs. Initially, just take a moment to take up space, a mini shavasana. You can open your legs wide, you can open your arms wide. Feel the heart beat. Notice your breath. Notice how the belly rises and falls. And then you'll bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet down to the ground. Press your low back into the ground. And then begin to lift your shoulders off of the floor using the strength of the core. Extend your arms out in front of you. Your fingertips reach towards your heels. And then we're going to begin to take some tiny pulses, fingertips towards the heels. So the idea is that we never completely lower all the way down. We always stay within this spectrum of challenge. We're not here too long. See if you can lift your shoulders up a little bit higher. And now begin to reach your fingertips past your knees. Keep the shoulders high. I know it's tricky, but you got it. Less is more. And slowly release. Soften your back body down to the ground. Keep the knees bent. Relax your arms by the side bodies. We'll do a few rounds of rolling bridges. Back body touches down to the floor. Your fingertips should just barely graze the backs of the heels. With your inhale, begin to press into the soles of the feet and lift the hips high. As you press into the soles of the feet, see if you can engage the glutes. Lift the hips up a little bit higher at the end of the range of motion. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, slowly begin to soften the back body down towards the floor. And then keep moving just like that, in that rhythm. Lifting your hips up as you inhale. And lifting the hips down with an exhale. No, you don't have to move one breath to one movement. Just a few more slow cycles of breath. Finish your next exhale all the way out. No rush to get there. We eventually meet in a reclined butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet to touch, knees out wide. Left hand to the heart, right hand to the low belly. Close the eyes. And notice how you breathe. Gently guide the knees inwards towards your chest, giving yourself a gentle squeeze. Feel free to move intuitively. You can rock from side to side. Notice what feels present in the low back. How can the last few minutes of practice create space within? Open the arms wide, arms out to a T. Shift your hips 1 or 2 inches to the left. Keep the knees close. And then lower the knees to the right, finding a spinal twist. You can choose to keep the neck neutral, or you could also look over either shoulder. A few cycles of breath here. Next inhale, bring the knees back inwards towards the midline. Shift the hips 1 or 2 inches to the right. Knees remain close into the chest. And then lower the knees to the left, spinal twist. You can choose to look over either shoulder. And in this moment, check in. If there's any portion of the practice that still feels like effort, see if you can release that expectation. Just Let the body be passive. Inhale, bring the knees back in towards the midline. If there are any last movements that your body is craving before your final shavasana, I encourage you to take them. But otherwise, we make our way to the most important shape, final shavasana. Extending your right foot to the right corner of the mat, left foot to the left corner of the mat. Arms relaxed by the sides, palms face up. It's here where I will leave you today. I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for as long as your day allows, for as long as the body, the mind, the soul requires. Thank you so much for practicing. I hope to see you soon.